Got my rag out, probably wondering why. I'm gonna do a video today on the Hyundai Elantra that I picked up not too long ago. Your basic fluid checks on this vehicle. This happens to be a 2009, but I know this covers pretty much quite a bit of these Hyundai Elantras, the older ones, 2000s and on up. I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into it. So if you need this kind of a lesson, this is gonna be real helpful. You can check your own fluids, your basic checks and whatnot. Let's go. Here's the engine. To your left, as you're facing the vehicle, you're going to see the coolant overfill tank. It should say coolant right on the cap. You're going to look inside, you should have coolant in there. Now, if you go to the side of this canister, bottle, whatever you want to call it, overfill tank, you're going to see two marks. It should be right about here or anywhere in between these two marks. All right, so anywhere between these two marks, you should be fine. Mine's actually a little higher than this top mark. It's okay. It's all right if you overfill this a little bit. It's not a big deal. All right. Next to that, you have the washer fluid. It'll say right on there, washer only. You pop it open, you put your washer fluid in there. And I'm a little low, so let me get some. I like using the Rain-X stuff, 2-in-1 all season. It does a great job on the windshield. Helps to keep the rain off and all that stuff. I'll put a link in the description below if you guys are interested in getting more information on the fluids that I use. All right, so my windshield washer fluid is topped off. Next thing, you're gonna see this right here. It's yellow, and right on top it should say engine oil. Car's not running, okay? You pull this out, you're gonna wipe the dipstick off, wipe that oil right off of there. Take a good look at your dipstick. F is for full, L is for low. I know it's upside down, but it is what it is. It should be right here on a full mark. I like to check my engine oil while the engine's warm. I just go home from work, so it's gonna be a better reading. Let's check it. As you can see, well, I hope you can see, it is right on the full mark. So the engine oil is good. Now, if you need to add engine oil, you would come up to this cap here, which is directly above the dipstick. And it'll say, see owner's manual on it. And it'll tell you the type of oil you need to use, which is 5W20 in this vehicle. You take this cap off, and your engine oil will go right in there. So put a little bit at a time if you needed some, and then check your dipstick, and keep doing that until you get to the full mark. Okay, so we're on the left side of the vehicle, or the driver's side, I should say. Brake master cylinder. Right, your brake fluid. It's right up against what's called the firewall, right by the wipers. All right, so here's the wipers. If you go down, driver's seat's right there. Boom, master cylinder, right, for your brake reservoir. Now on the side of this, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show it to you, but on the side of this, there's a max level, which is right here. All right, so the fluid should be right there. So you take this cap off and the fluid goes right in. So I'm a little low, just on the max. But if you look straight underneath that max line, the low line, right, or the low marking is way below that reservoir. It's like past halfway down. So anything between the max and the low, you're good. So I'm not gonna put, I was going to, but I'm not gonna put fluid in that. We are good, because the low, it's so hard to show on camera because it's so tight in here. So the low is way down there. But anyway, that's good enough. This is your battery. It is not a sealed battery. So we're gonna have to open these caps to get a look and see if it needs any fluid. Basically, you take a screwdriver and you pop the caps open. Now, you want to take a look inside here in the cells. You're going to see fluid. So that fluid should be right to the bottom of that whole opening, right? You'll see, and they're all pretty good, man. They're all right there. Now, if I needed fluid, I would need to use, or what I use is distilled water, and I'll put it in there. That's what I use. Now, if you have what's called a sealed battery, you won't need to do these checks on your battery. So make sure you have, you know what kind of battery you have. If it's a sealed battery, chances are you're not going to have caps like this. Okay? There won't be any caps you can open up. If it does have caps like this, then it's not a sealed battery. You're going to have to open these up to check your fluids. Now, another thing I like to do is to make sure my terminals are clean. Right? No corrosion. Right? Make sure they got good contacts. If you see corrosion on this, it'll look like a white powdery substance, or sometimes it's like a green color. Take these off, clean this up, and then put it back together. Your battery will tend to last longer. Your alternator will last longer. And the whole electrical system will work much easier if these are clean. Last thing that needs to be checked is my transmission fluid. Now, to do this, transmission has to be running, and it has to be in park or neutral. I would just leave it in park. That's what I do. And then we'll pull a dipstick and check it. So let me get this thing running. All right, she's running. And again, best time to check this is when the engine is nice and warm. You'll get a better reading. Same thing on this. Wipe it off completely. Take a look at your marks. Here you have C for cold, and you got hot. So when it's hot, like it is now, it should be right between these two marks here. If the tranny was cold, it'd be down here. So let's check, see where we're at. Do that one more time. All right, so I'm right here. Honestly, it's overfilled. If you want to get real technical, I'm just right about here. I'm leaving it alone. You do what you want. Can you take some out? Sure, you can. But because it ain't that much, and I know this transmission and the oil is hot, it ain't going to get any higher than that. So I'm happy with that, and I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to go to trouble to try to take some out. Last thing I'm going to suggest you do while you're under here is lubricate everything. Lubricate your hinges, the latch. And that'll just keep everything in good working order. And just, you know, heck, you're under here, you might as well just knock it out and lubricate it, and know that next time you go to open your hood, it's going to work for you. You'll be able to open the hood. So that's all there is to checking your fluids and, you know, maintaining your vehicle, really. Very important, keep your fluids levels where they're supposed to be, and you shouldn't run into any problems with your engine. I hope this video was helpful. I wish you all the best. Have a glorious day. Bye-bye.